Hi everybody, so we're here to do our answer portion to our question and answer vlog. Sorry that my hair kind of looks like a crazy mess, but it's Friday afternoon and it's hot and my hair is so long and it's been driving me crazy, so this is kind of what you get. But anyways, I thought we would go ahead and just answer the questions that you guys have. There were some questions that were left for us on our Facebook page from people who don't have a YouTube account, or they just ask questions there instead. So we'll start there. And a lot of the questions, well, not all of them, but some of the ones we got are repeats. So if I answer it twice, or if I get a second question, I'll just say I already answered that. So the first question on our Facebook page was, when do we plan to TTC again, and how many kids do you and your husband want? We plan to try again. We would like our kids probably about 2 years apart. 2 to 3 years is kind of where I feel comfortable with. The reason for that being is that I really want to enjoy the littleness of their life and be able to be fully devoted to that without having another baby to take care of. I feel like 2 years is a good space between kids, and so we'll probably start to try again when Emma's maybe 1.5. And I keep going back and forth on that because we TTC'd for a while. It was a little bit over a year before we got pregnant with Emma. So it's hard to know because it's I don't want to start too early and then get pregnant right away, because you hear people that try for a long time for their first baby and then they get pregnant instantaneously the second time around. But then if it takes a long time again, I don't want it to be 4 years. So I don't know really how I feel about when we'll actually start trying again, but ideally we'd like them about 2 years apart, and then we would like 3 to 4 kids. When we get to 3, we'll kind of see where we're at and kind of see where I feel as far as we are as a family, and we'll go from there. The next question is, how did you and your hubby meet? My husband and I actually met in the 7th grade. We did not get along or even like each other at all the very first time that we met. He was a new student at our school, and the lockers go by alphabetical by last name. And my best friend at the time had, her last name started with an F, and obviously our last name is Dodge and started with a D, so they were right next to each other. And being a very annoying 7th grade girl, I was always at my best friend's locker talking to her and in the morning and stuff, and he would come to his locker and I'd always be in his way. And after time and time again of asking me to move, I thought I was so cool and I could just be like, no, I'm not gonna move. And one time he actually pushed me out of the way because he was running late. He's like, get out of my way. So we actually met in the 7th grade, but didn't like each other at all. We didn't start dating until we were in the 10th grade. I was 15 and he was 16, so that's kind of how we met. Did you think about baby-led weaning before starting with purees? I didn't really think about baby-led weaning. I had done a little bit of reading about it and seen lots of people on YouTube who have opted to do that, and I just didn't feel like that was the best option for us. Not that I have anything wrong with it, I didn't think it was the right thing for us, so we didn't do it. Do you vaccinate? Yes, we do vaccinate. I'm not for every single vaccination, especially the flu shot. I'm not a big fan of the flu shot. So she didn't get the flu shot, but the traditional vaccination she did get. How old do you want Emma to be when you have another child? I answered that about 2 or 3 years old. Do you cloth diaper or use disposable diapers? We use disposable diapers. And did we ever consider cloth diapers is the next question. I did consider cloth diaper. I opted to do disposables because of being a working mom and having Emma in daycare. And I know that you can do it. There are moms that are full-time working moms and do the cloth diapering option. I just felt like it was adding another thing onto our plate that really would be a lot more work. I mean, if you've seen our day in the life, you know that I'm busy pretty much, and then having to do diaper laundry on top of that every day would just be another thing. And if I was a stay-at-home mom, I would absolutely cloth diaper. I think it's a wonderful alternative and saves money, and I'm all for it. So it just doesn't kind of work out with us for our schedule. The next question was spacing between kids. I already said that, 2 to 3 years. Let me make sure. Oh yes, I have another question that was on the Facebook. And I had put, I don't know if you all follow us on Facebook, but I had put on my Facebook maybe a month or two ago that Emma had stopped eating for her dad in the morning, and this person was asking how it went, if she ever went back and started taking her bottle for her dad. What we figured out with that was Emma started doing that once she started on solid foods, and it was mostly because she just wasn't hungry in the morning anymore. She wasn't hungry at her 8 a.m. feeding, because she eats every 3 hours. So I'd nurse her at 5 a.m. before I go to work, and then technically 3 hours from them is 8 o'clock. And my husband was trying to feed her for like a good 2 weeks every day at 8, and she just was like would spit it out and just didn't want it. And I just couldn't figure it out why, because every time I'm home on the weekends at 8, she nurses. And we just figured out that she really just wasn't hungry and she doesn't want it. She was never fussy. She was never unhappy. She just wasn't interested in it. So it just kind of narrowed down to the fact that she didn't need that feeding, which if you read about, you know, when you start them on solids, you can eliminate some of their milk feedings because they're getting supplements for other things. And I figured out that the reason she nurses for me at 8 is because she loves nursing. She would much rather have the boob than the bottle anytime. Like, I can whip it out like an hour after she eats on a normal day and she would take it. So it just kind of comes to that she loves to nurse, and that's why she nurses for me at 8. She doesn't nurse very long. She kind of nurses about half the time that she would usually nurse, but she does. So on the weekends, she always nurses for me at 8, but during the weekdays, she just doesn't eat because she's not hungry. And if she is hungry, she will eat. Like this morning today, my husband did feed her at 8 because she woke up and she was hungry. So those are the questions that were left for us on our Facebook page. And now we'll start with the, oh my goodness, video questions that were left on our YouTube page. Okay, so our first question on our YouTube comments was, when will we start trying for baby number 2, and how many kids do you want to have? I already answered that. Next question was, do you know any names in mind for future children? Yes, we do. We have our boy's name. If we had a boy, we were going to name him Noah. And that's still our boy's name. It's the only boy's name, or one of the only boy's names that I really love. My husband loves the name Eli, which I'm not a huge fan of, but maybe if we have 2 boys or twin boys or something in the future, we can compromise and settle on that. But definitely Noah and Eli. Girls' names are really hard because I have a lot of girls' names that I like, but my husband didn't like any of them. So when we were deciding on Emma's name, it took us a really long time to come to an agreement. But that's kind of the only names we have. I don't really have any other girls' names that we both like. So that's that. How many kids do you want to have? 3 to 4. When do I plan to stop with breastfeeding? I want to breastfeed Emma till she is a year old, and then I will start weaning her. I don't think I'm going to go much beyond a year. Do you want to go play with your toys? I don't want to go much beyond a year because for me, I just feel like it's such a huge commitment, and I've given so much of my body to her for so long, and it'd be nice to kind of have a break before we start trying again. And I think it's great that people, you know, breastfeed to 14, 16, 18, 20 months old, 2 years. You know, I'm not opposed to it, but I just feel like for me that my goal was to make it to a year, and if we do that, that's really all that's important to me, because the first year is just so vitally important when it comes to breastfeeding. Next question is, what nationality are you and your husband? I get asked this a lot because people can tell that I have like a mix of me, but they can never quite figure out what my nationality is. So I am Chinese. My mom is 50-50. My mom is half Chinese and half Spanish. And I say Spanish because it's different than like Mexican or you know, any other like Hispanic ethnicity, which is funny because I always have to clarify that because everybody's like, Spanish, well, what do you mean? But like from Spain. And then my dad is predominantly German, and he's got a couple other like weird like mixed in things with him. So, but he's mostly German. So I am German, Hispanic, Spanish, and then Chinese. My husband is Belgian, German, and I think one other like Dutch or something. So Emma is actually predominantly German, but yeah, I'm kind of a mix. So I actually get that question all the time. People always think I'm like Hawaiian, or they can never quite figure it out, but that is what I am. What are a few things you're looking forward to as Emma gets older? Hearing her talk, hear her little voice, playing with her, I mean more in the near future, playing like dress up with her, and just seeing what her little personality continues to develop and be like. And I don't want to think too far beyond that because it's crazy and like sad to think of how quickly they grow up and change, but just getting to like see her become her own little person, and you know, I don't know, it's so fun to watch her learn and discover new things. So I love that aspect of her growing up. Let's see. Next question. What do you and your hubby like to do for a date night? Yeah. When we go out on a date, the last couple dates that we've had since Emma's been born, the only things that we do are go see a movie. We don't really do anything beyond that, and it's kind of hard to squeeze in a date night. But that's usually our favorite thing, dinner and a movie. What do you like to do to pamper yourself before baby and after? Oh goodness, I don't even ever get to do anything for myself. But I love getting pedicures done. I love just shopping and going and spoiling myself with new clothes, which I haven't done in a very long time because it's been all about Emma. But those are kind of the things that I do to make myself happy. What are you doing? What's your favorite thing to cook at home for your family? My husband loves my enchiladas. That's probably one of my favorite things to cook too. What is your biggest vice? My biggest vice would be that I'm a little bit OCD, and I kind of like, I'm a perfectionist. Like I have my idea of how things need to be, and when things aren't exactly like that, like it tends to upset me, and I get mad over like silly, stupid things, and I'm just very particular in that way, to almost to a fault, because I get mad about stupid things that shouldn't be like that important. So I guess that would be it. And do we have any animals? If not, why, and will you get some? We don't have any animals currently. We would like to get a dog at some point. Probably when Emma's at least a year old, maybe a year and a half old. The reason why we don't have a dog right now, or any pets right now, I'm allergic to cats, so we can't have cats. But the reason we don't have a pet now is we live in a townhome, and we can have animals here, but we can't have any animals that are too big. And so we've been kind of deciding on what kind of a pet what kind of a dog we would like to get when we do get a dog, because I like really itty bitty dogs, and my husband wants like a big manly dog, and we kind of have to meet somewhere in between. And we just decided that, you know, we didn't want one the first year we were married, and then we decided we would wait until after we had a baby instead of introducing a pet beforehand. So that's kind of why we waited on that. What is your dream vacation if you could go anywhere in the world? For me, my personal dream vacation would be to go to Paris with my best friend. We would love to do that for our 30th birthday in 5 years. That would absolutely be my dream vacation just for me. As like a family vacation, I would love to go to the Bahamas. I'd love to go on a cruise to the Caribbean and go to the Bahamas. That would be like my dream family vacation. But my #1 vacation just for me, because my husband has zero interest in it, would be Paris. I absolutely love Paris and just the culture and obviously all the shopping. But it's just such a beautiful city, and that would be absolutely where I would love to go. What is my least favorite chore? I hate cleaning the bathroom. That is my biggest downfall. I cannot stand other things to be messy, but when my bathroom is messy, I don't care because I hate cleaning it, and I'll like delay it and delay it, and my husband gets so mad at me because it needs to be done. So that is definitely my least favorite chore.